Hello, guys. Hello, and welcome to day number 7 of the 21 Days to Live Your Authentic Challenge. Yes, we have been focusing on living our authentic life and setting ourselves for success for the last week. So I'm so excited to be here at day number 7. I am T. Renee Smith. I'm the founder of the Authentic Woman's Inner Circle, where we help you to live free and clear from fear and self-defeating beliefs so that you can build a profitable business, raise extraordinary kids, and rekindle that passion in your marriage, all while living a life of purpose. So yesterday we talked about changing your perception of things. So basically, when you look at things differently, then things will start to change. So today we're going to talk about something that is so very key, which is going to be redefining happiness in your life. So many times we get caught up because we don't have external things in our life. And today we're going to talk about how you can redefine your happiness. And the first thing before we start is that happiness is your responsibility, which I want everybody to make sure that we understand. This was such a hard lesson for me to learn, I know, and then a lot of my friends and a lot of my clients, because we looked for happiness based on the situation that we were in. So if money was flowing well in our business, or if we were soaring in our career, then we were happy. That defined our relation. That defined happiness. In our relationships or our marriages, if things were going well and they were smooth, we were happy. With our kids, if they were making good grades, conduct was well in school, then we were happy. However, on the flip side, if our kids were falling out, acting out, going through rebellious stages, we weren't happy. In our marriage, if things were tight and we had hit a rough patch, not happy. If our money was funny, not happy. So in those situations, what is the commonality? The commonality is happiness was defined by external things. A lot of times things that we don't have any control over. But understanding the real key to happiness is that they're internal things. They're joy. They're living your authentic life. They're serving others. They're standing in your truth. They're having a spiritual practice where you're quieting your mind and you're able to connect with the divine. So our homework assignment for today is going to be, how do you define happiness? And it's so funny because I do this exercise with my clients. And one client that I was working with several months ago, we went through the process of defining her happiness. And her happiness was when she had red bottom shoes on, when she dressed a certain way, the house that she was living in, the car that she was driving, the status that she had on her job. And pretty much her whole list was external, which means that she was looking externally to be validated. She was looking externally to get her worth and value. And so what we had to do was to shift her mindset of understanding that happiness does not come from any of these things. Because what happens when some of these things are no longer there. So in shifting your mindset, you start becoming more internally grateful, or your happiness is derived from internal things. So let's just say your relationship with your children. It may not necessarily be how their grades are, but just because they're your children, because you love them, because you guys spend time together, those are those intrinsic things. Or because you're standing in your truth, because you know that God has a purpose on your life, that you're walking in that purpose. Or you may have shortcomings, and when you're looking at external validations, you may be trying to cover those things up because you don't want people to see your flaws. But when you're internal and happiness is internal, then you're able to stand into your truth. So one thing that I want to share with you guys is, I was watching Super Soul Sunday this weekend, and I was listening to the CEO of LinkedIn, and he gave some very valuable things about being compassionate and being happy. And so his mentor was Ray Chambers, and Ray has 5 keys to living happiness. And so I wanted to share those with you. And if you notice that these are not external things, these are internal things. So the first thing is you have to live in the moment, and that really is practicing mindfulness, which we're going to talk about in future trainings when we talk about spiritual practice. And mindfulness means living in the moment, being in the present, not always tied to what's going to happen in the future, and not being stuck to what has happened in the past, but being grateful for every single moment that you have and being present and being able to enjoy it. The second one was being of service to people. So just like in this 21-day challenge, I am serving serving you by providing you with information and knowledge that is going to help change your life. So all of us serve in some capacity, whether that's volunteering at a shelter, whether that's coaching, whether that's working with kids, whatever. But happiness is derived from serving others. So you know how when people say when you're depressed or when you're miserable, go serve somebody, go do something for somebody else, because that is a sense of happiness. So you've got to be in the moment. And number two, you want to serve others. The third thing is you want to be a spectator of your thoughts. And what that simply means is like emotional intelligence. You want to be in tune with the way that you are thinking. Am I happy? Am I sad? Am I fearful? Do I have anxiety? Why do I have this? Why am I responding the way I am to somebody else? Normally it's because they triggered something. So a lot of times, again, we will project onto somebody else issues that we're having within ourselves. So another key to being happy is being in touch with your emotions and your thoughts and understanding why you're responding a certain way, and then being able to work through that process. So that's number three. The fourth key is so huge, is being love or showing love versus being right. One thing that I always say in my marriage with my husband is that I would rather be happy, I'd rather continue to have love than to always be right. Hey Simone, so many times we are holding for our position, or we're jockeying for our position, and we don't want to be wrong. So in the meantime, we are sowing discord in our relationship. We're showing distrust. So the fourth key to being happy is being loved, being lovable, showing love versus being right. And then the fifth one is, which is so important, is being grateful every day for at least one thing. Because what happens is when you're being grateful, that is the open doorway to abundance. The more grateful you are, the more things are going to come into your life. The more you complain, the more negative things are going to come into your life, or you're going to repel the things that you want. So you have to be grateful for something every single day. And one thing that I do is when I get up in the morning, I meditate and I say at least 3 to 4 things that I'm grateful for. And then when I go to bed at night, same thing. I say 3 or 4 things that I'm grateful for. So today's lesson is all about reframing the way that you think about happiness. Number one, understanding that you determine your own happiness. It's nobody else's responsibility to make you happy except for you. It's not your wife's, it's not your husband's, it's not your mother, your father, your co-workers, nobody. It's your responsibility to make you happy. So that's number one. Hey, Evelise. And then number two, there are 5 keys to happiness. And then that's turning your happiness from being external to being internal. So today's homework assignment is for you to define what happiness means to you. And then be honest. So if it was like my client who pretty much everything was external, it was materialistic, it was status, write that down and be honest. And then once you're able to see what brings you happiness, now you can start redefining it and understanding that true happiness comes from those 5 things that we just talked about. Being in the moment, serving others, walking in love versus having to be right, being grateful every day, being in touch with your emotions. Those are the intangible things which lets you know that you can be happy right now, and you don't have to acquire different things. You don't have to have a different job. You don't have to, open your own business. Happiness is available to you right now if you shift the way that you're thinking about happiness. Okay, guys? So again, day number 7 is changing your perception or redefining what happiness is. So make sure that you do your homework assignment in defining what happiness is for you. Number 1. And then number 2, if it is externally focused, start reshaping and redefining what happiness means. So if you are not a part of the 21-day challenge, then you can go to trenesmith.com/authentic. That's trenesmith.com/authentic to register, and you will get these emails and with the videos and the homework or action assignments, as I like to call them, delivered to your email inbox daily. All right, guys, I hope that you have an amazing day full of peace, full of purpose, and full of prosperity. And remember that you are the answer to somebody's prayer. When you walk in your purpose and you step and allow your greatness to shine, that gives somebody else the permission to let their greatness shine and to walk in their purpose. You can live free and clear from fear, from doubt, from shame. You can overcome all that you have been through to live your authentic life. So I will see you right back here tomorrow for day number 8 of Live Your Authentic Life. Bye-bye, guys.